Hello, everyone. I see y'all have gotten started. I see. Today, I'm going to be talking about this Gin and Juice situation that is public, which means it's up for public consumption. Okay. I don't know why people want to get sensitive when it comes to drama, like something like this. When people choose to put their business on the internet. Why? I don't know why. You're going to have to ask them why they choose to continuously put their business out on the internet. But we don't talk about these things to look down on others, and we don't talk about these things to belittle other people. We talk about these things to learn, to grow, to elevate, to level up. So before I get into this video, that is what this video is for. If you get disrespectful in the comment section, you will be blocked. Because you know I like to block. You will be blocked, okay? Number two, I know some people go get in the comment section and make this about Black men. I know, y'all ready. You care too much what they think. And don't project that onto me, because I don't give a damn what they think, what they do, who they date, who they out here having sex with. I just don't care. Okay. I made a vow that after the Lauren Smithfield situation, that I was not going to allow my ego as a creator, as a Black woman, when it comes to my content, things that I create out of caution and warning for Black women. I wasn't going to allow my ego to get in the way of your safety as a content creator and influencer when it comes to serious topics like this. If you want to go to another YouTuber who puts their ego before your safety, go ahead. But today we're going to be talking about this. Now, the situation happens to involve a non-Black man. It's life. Get over it. Okay? It's life. And the sooner you come to the realization that as a Black woman, you don't have an ally really with any known group, the better. You got to be for yourself. You got to look out for yourself, and you got to have your own back. That's why I'm making this video. Thank you, Themis, for the super chat. So I don't want y'all in the comment section making this about Black men, making this about stuff that really you shouldn't care about. Because at the end of the day, this video is not to discourage you from dating out. This video is to make you more aware. Okay, so you can use better discernment. That's what this is about. This is not to scare you from dating out at all. Okay, because the reality is you got Black males out here murdering you. It's just facts. Okay, and then you can't really fully trust these other group of men either. So you need to be aware, period. Okay. So, and I've been saying that. I'm sorry. I never said it was okay to go out here and put non-Black men on a pedestal. I told you that. Dusty is a Dusty. Don't matter what race, all that don't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my intro. If you let go of the savior complex, this video should not bother you. If you let go of the scarcity mindset, this video should not bother you. If you stop putting non-Black men on a pedestal, this video does not bother you. It shouldn't. If you stop worrying about what other people think, this video should not bother you. If you care so deeply about Black men and how they think and feel about you dating out, this video, it should not bother you. You should not care.
Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When it comes to this Jin and Juice situation, I can't take sides. I just cannot. And the reason is because I'm doing my research. I never met this couple, don't know much about them, so I can only go off of what they have put online. And some videos that I watched to get more educated. I watched their How I Met video, and I watched the How I Met video after I watched the videos that they put out about each other. And I honestly don't see how, as a supporter of theirs, that you could honestly truly take sides in this situation. And the reason is because they did a lot of lying. Like, let's be clear, they did a lot of lying, both of them. So it's kind of hard to really like pick and choose a side, because when I watched the How I Met video, I mean, just go watch it. It's like I don't even know what to take and what not to take. They're making serious accusations of each other, and it's hard to really just kind of side. So what I plan on doing is reacting to both videos. I can definitely see where I think her name is Soros. I can honestly see how maybe she got manipulated and he was able to get that evidence in his video, which you'll see when I bring it up. I do feel like when it comes to Soros' video, she put a lot more into context for me. Because in his video, Gohan's video, I felt like there were just a lot of missing pieces and it just didn't make sense. I also watched a little bit of the family truth or dare video that Gohan did with his family, her family in-laws. And so for me, it's just, this is a lot, y'all. This is a lot. This is a lot. So I'm going to bring it up. I know somebody said they lied about meeting on Tinder. So I don't know how that's a lot, as if YouTube couples don't fake prank videos all the time. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know what to take, y'all? You know, it's hard. So let me see. No, I did not see Ash and Chris's video. Will that change my perspective? Yeah, they said they met on a train. They met on Tinder. Like, y'all, if you were sitting up here watching all of this for the first time, it's just like you're like a ping pong. You're like, okay, this information, this information. So what's the truth? Okay, they said watch it. I should just go ahead and watch that. Because I only have time. I'm not gonna lie. I only have time to watch. Um, I only have time to react to the video that I planned tonight. I'll have to watch that later. I will. I know. I need, and then I'll have to research, like, how do Ash and Chris know them? You know. I'm gonna have to react to that later, but let me pull this up right now because I really want to do this in order. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let me go ahead and give a warning. If you're sensitive to any type of violence, abuse, whether that's physical, emotional, I would not advise that you continue this video any further. Okay. If you are sensitive to abuse of any form or any kind, I don't advise that you continue with this video. If you are easily triggered, I don't advise that you continue with this video. Also, let's not be disrespectful. Okay. No name calling, no mammy this, pick me this. You're going to get blocked. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we all here just trying to learn. So you was a mammy at one point, and I'm sure you were a pick me at some point in your life. We all just graduated and elevated collectively as Black women. So don't think too highly of yourself or be on such a high horse to the point where you can't be a little more understanding of her position as a Black woman. So if you get in the comment section and you start name calling, you're going to get removed. You've been warned. So we about to get into this. We are all here to learn and to grow and to elevate. And I like to use these situations as examples for us to do that. Okay? So let's get into it.
Hi guys. So I've kind of been going back and forth a lot, trying to decide whether or not I should film this video. And I just wanted to preface that this is really not something that I was trying to do. And that I'm really still not interested in an internet war regarding private matters of our relationship. And I wasn't interested in exploiting anybody's trauma. But it's just gotten to the point where I feel like I need to come forward with my story and what happened to me. And I did want to thank you guys for being so supportive and giving me the time to come forward with my story. Sorry. I loved Gohan and I wanted to protect him, but seeing as how he had so little information in the situation, he's pretty much left me with no choice but to come forward and come here and explain what happened to me. And I'm going to explain from the beginning. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to compose myself, guys. Hopefully my side of the story will help fill in some of those holes. Gohan mentioned in his video that he suffered from PTSD and codependency due to reasons that he did not want to disclose. I feel the reason he did not want to disclose certain information is because it was contradictory to the narrative that he was trying to create. Gohan suffered from PTSD and codependency due to abuse that he had suffered at the hands of his father. So this is all stuff that I had been hearing from Gohan. It was childhood abuse, and he mentioned to me on multiple occasions that his dad had sent him to the hospital. And when Gohan and I first met, one of the things that he mentioned to me was how much he hated his family and how much he wanted to escape from them. I remember on one particular instance, we were at Gohan's house. We were just hanging out and his dad was there. And he went over to his dad and he asked him for some money. I was in his room and I don't think that his dad noticed I was there. And he had started yelling at Gohan. So I kind of peeked my head out the door and his demeanor totally changed. Myeongjin came back into the room and he locked the doors and we were in there for the rest of the day. And I remember him looking terrified. At night, his mom came and knocked on the door. She handed him $200. She said, "Your dad is mad. Take this, get out, go on a date, go spend the night at a hotel, and never ask him for money again." This was the first of many red flags, and his mother and I often had conversations where she would inform me that both of her sons were scared of their father, and they referred to their beatings like the beatings that he gave them as education.
Okay, now before I get started, you guys, as Black women, when we start to date and we start to venture out, which I highly recommend, because within the Black community, when it comes to Black men, it's a one-sided loyalty, and I'm speaking collectively. So we need to venture out. It's not if we should. No, we need to, because the loyalty that we have is not being reciprocated. But it doesn't mean that you should not be aware of the cultural differences that you may face with other men. So apparently, when it comes to Korean men, they are, hit on. I'm gonna say that because I know YouTube is censoring a lot of the things that we say on here, and that's part of their childhood trauma. So one thing that I can honestly say, like when it comes to dating out, that's something that you're gonna have to look for. A lot of us as people today, we have some type of trauma, and you need to vet, which takes time, right? You're gonna have to vet to see if this person, regardless of race, has issues. And then you need to take it a step further to see if they are willing to work on their issues, because it's not about being perfect. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about finding someone that is willing to do the same work that you're willing to do on yourself. I'm hoping you're doing this work on yourself so that you're healing, you're working on yourself, you're elevating, you're leveling up. And when it comes to this situation, she saw a lot of red flags. And like a lot of us, we tend to look past that because we are trying to get to know and to understand this person. But when it comes to situations like this, sometimes in order for you to know better, you have to go through experiences like this so then you can know better. If you don't have the experience, how can you say, well, how did she not know not to date him and da-da-da? Well, she never had this experience before. This is new to her. This is a whole cultural difference. So let's continue.
Gohan had told me about his abuse. I unfortunately had to find out about the side effects that it had on him the hard way. I remember multiple instances where Gohan and I would be having disagreements, and then he would immediately just like start slapping himself. I'd never witnessed anything like that before, and I was super confused. I didn't say anything the first couple times that it had happened because I thought that it was some sort of manipulation tactic, just when he was wanting to end conversation. But one day I got really frustrated. I remember asking him, why do you do that? It makes me so uncomfortable when you hit yourself. And it would stop me in my tracks because who wants to watch the person that they love inflict harm on themselves? He responded and said that it was a coping mechanism or a trauma response. And whenever he felt like he had done something wrong, he would hit himself because that's what his dad used to do. So he would put himself in place of his father for its punishment. There would be times that Gohan would get so upset with himself that he would go into these slapping fits in which I would try to, and I would have to physically try and restrain him so that he would stop hurting himself. Because I couldn't bear to see him hurt himself. We had originally planned to go to America together on vacation. When we arrived in the States, I found out I was pregnant, and I'm 100% pro-choice, but abortion was never an option for me. I was young, but I was ready to take on the responsibilities of becoming a young mother. I sat Gohan down and I told him, listen, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, and that I would do it myself. I grew up without a dad, and I was raised by a single mother of 4. So I had my own trauma because of that, but I didn't feel like it was fair to keep someone around if they didn't want to be.
Y'all, what have I been saying on here? Gosh, like I'm gonna try to get through this. Black women, if you don't heal yourself, and I tell my mentees this all the time, if you master the art of healing, you will master your life. If you don't master the art of healing, you cannot master your life. You cannot master success. You cannot master happiness. You cannot master peace. If you master healing, you can master your life. And it's just that simple. Because you can try to go out here, start a new life, go to a whole new country, and somehow still deal with the same stuff that you may have saw growing up in your childhood, or have the effects of some of the things that you traumatically dealt with in your childhood. Now you're dealing with it in your adulthood, but now you're sharing similar trauma or some type of trauma bond with this person that you're in love with, right? That's what I have been saying. And I said, as Black women collectively, we like to jump from one extreme to the next. We like to jump from one extreme to the next. And I said, we have to balance ourselves. We have to realigned ourselves. That may involve reparenting. That may involve therapy. That may involve counseling. That may involve anger management. We have to do the work, because at this point, we can't keep blaming everybody else. We cannot. It's unfortunate that that was her childhood and she was brought up in a single parent home with 4 siblings. So she didn't have the leadership in the home. She didn't have the experience in the home. And so, I mean, you can't really blame her, right? But now that she's going through all of this, this is how growth works. You don't take those past experiences that you had and think that you just don't do anything with them. No, they're experiences that now you use, that you carry as wisdom, and now you apply that to your discernment. You apply that to your vetting. You apply that with slowing down and vetting a man and not rushing into things. So maybe she wanted a family of her own. We don't know the reason behind why she did what she did or why she was putting up with all of this. We don't know the reason. So this is what trauma bonding is. And then another thing, a lot of times when we get into these toxic relationships, we think this stuff is normal. We think a lot of it's normal. Or particularly for Black women, we're told to hold it down, be a ride or die. He'll eventually come around. So sometimes choosing better, you got to go through horrible experiences like this. We do. So this is why I'm doing this video. I'm really only doing this video in hopes that Black women will start to work on themselves and to heal themselves. We can't keep jumping from one extreme to the next in hopes that we bump into a savior. You have to save yourself. And it starts with you healing.
He was also young and he had his own life, because we met when we were like 19 and 20. I remember him holding my hands and looking at me and saying, "We're going to do this together." And we bonded over the fact that we both had really bad experiences with parents, and chose to be with each other because we loved each other and we wanted to do better for our children. Please, sorry, just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get through this as smoothly as possible. We had to grow up really fast. We arrived in the States June 18th of 2019. And after falling pregnant, we were set to get married on July 10th of 2019. Gohan legally could not work in the States for a long time because while he was here, we needed to get a lawyer and get that whole situation sorted. So I did work like crazy when I was pregnant. I would work like 60, 70 hours a week. So Monday through Friday, my schedule would be, I would be at work from my first job from 9 to around 6. I'd leave at 6, be home by like 6:30, take a nap, get up around like 7:15, get ready and head to my next job. And I'd have to be there by 8 p.m. And then I would work from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. I'd leave at 5, get home by like 5:30, take a nap, and then it was like a repeated cycle. And for my third job, I was working 14-hour shifts on Saturdays and Sundays. So I would work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on the weekends. So because I was pregnant, sometimes I had a really difficult time with things. I would have to go to the bathroom and throw up, or I would get nosebleeds due to the amount of stress and heat exhaustion when I was like working in a kitchen. But I always kept going, and I always told myself that I can do this much for my family. I always thought to myself, it won't be like this forever, and I looked forward to the bright future that I imagined us creating together. He referred to himself as a house slave in some parts of the video. When I met him, he didn't even know how to do his own dishes or laundry, and I had to teach him how to do those things. And with the extensive hours of work that I was doing, yes, he did end up doing a majority of the housework, but I always carried the weight that I could. I did change diapers. It was just that he was home more often, so naturally he was doing that kind of stuff more often.
You guys, this girl was working 3 jobs while pregnant just to make ends meet. Now, I have to keep it real with you guys. I have to. She needs to take accountability in this situation because it makes sense as to why they came on YouTube and was faking a lot of their content for views. It makes sense why they were doing fake pranks. She was tired. Like, let's be honest. She was tired. I mean, I would be tired working 3 jobs, standing on my feet for hours out of the day while pregnant. So I'm not saying it was right. But I understand why she was doing it. This man wasn't helping her. She was pulling all the weight plus some. But you know what? She has to take accountability in the fact that she allowed that to happen. And I watched their How We Met video. I watched the How We Met video, and she was paying for things when they first met. And it was a red flag when he was staying with her for a week. They met one night. Apparently, it comes out in this video that they met on Tinder. Okay? So they met on Tinder. They met up at a subway station and they went out. Okay? So they met up on a hookup app. They ended up sleeping together the first night. He didn't go home for a week. He was eating up her food, showering at her place, and he didn't want to go home. So, of course, that transfers over into a relationship and now a marriage with kids. That's why when you meet a man, how you allow him to treat you, you got to set the tone day one. You can't wait a weekend. You got to set the tone day one. So I have to keep it all the way real with you. She has to take some accountability in this situation because in the beginning, like how they met and how they just really rushed into a lot of things. I can see how she ended up in this situation, unfortunately. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is a learning lesson. This is a learning lesson for her and for us and some of her followers. It's sad, but it's just, it happened. She was paying for things the first day. This man was staying at our house for a week after they first met off Tinder and was eating up her food.
And after having children, I did become very sensitive to smell. I would always want to throw up at like any unpleasant smells, but I always did my part. I would just plug my nose. Lawyer fees were expensive. We had bills to pay and saving up for a new baby, and money was really tight. The morning of July 10th came around, and I was excited to be marrying the man who I thought was going to be the love of my life. We were set to be married at 10 a.m. that day. We woke up around 9 o'clock, and I told him that I had around $20 saved and that I wanted to have a nice breakfast before going to get married. And I was like, I get 10, you get 10. He said he wanted hot Cheetos for breakfast, and we ended up getting in the stupidest fight. And we ended up not getting married that day. But July 17th, which was the day that we actually did end up getting married, was spontaneous and it was beautiful. Gohan and I had woken up that morning and we were having some pillow talk. And he looked at me for a long time and I kind of looked back at him and I was like, what? Then he just randomly asked me if I wanted to get married. I jokingly said, sure, when? And he got up and said, now. I looked at him with a smile on my face, half confused, and I asked, are you serious? And
you guys, she is very young. How old are they? They are very young, you guys. This is why I be telling y'all, when you in your 19, 20, you don't need to be worried about no relationship. You need to be selfish. You need to be traveling. You need to be focused on yourself. She's 23. So this was what, I want to say this was like 2 years ago. You shouldn't be worried about no relationship. And I hope this is a cautionary girl that they're so concerned about these men at 20 something years old, or your early 20s. Girl, if you don't go outside and explore and enjoy your life, because she got into this relationship, and I also talked about this yesterday with the Carisha and P. Diddy situation. When you come across as the fun girl, you are never taken serious. when he met her, he was just trying to have a good time. He was just trying to hook up with her and have a good time, because that was the foundation of how they met. They met on Tinder. They went out to I guess like a Korean club or bar, and they were just trying to have fun. And once you're labeled the fun girl, men typically don't take you serious. But it seems like he was really like into her in a very sexual way, because when I watched the explicit How We Met story, I was just like blown away by some of the things that he had said in that video. So you gotta slow down, you guys. Like you gotta slow down. Yes, he's a K-pop artist. I don't like K-pop music. I'm just saying. I mean, I do. I've been tuning in. I have. I like me some K-pop, but this man is an aspiring rapper. It's y'all. This is a mess. This is a mess. But she was young, very very young, and she was groomed as a Black woman in Black culture. Let's be real. So it does not surprise me that she went to Korea and got a dusty. Okay, it does not surprise me. A lot of us are groomed to take care of dusties. It is what it is. So it does not surprise me. Yes, rapper, y'all. Yes, a rapper.
He was like, yeah, let's go. And I said, okay. We picked up the phone and we called the courthouse and asked if there was anybody that could marry us that day. And they said they had an opening at 11 a.m. and we said that we would take it. It was already 10 a.m. and it was like super last minute, but I called my mom and my stepdad and my best friend, who were all able to be at the courthouse to witness like us get married like within the hour. And my mom and my stepdad left work to be there. Gohan was my best friend and I loved him like no other. You can't fake the type of love that I had for him. Weeks after that magical day, we hit a turning point in our relationship. August 13th of 2019, we were living at my mom's house and we had a couple of friends and family over for a gathering. Across different cultures, there are different things that are seen as respectful or disrespectful. And my mom had mentioned something that he did that rubbed her the wrong way. And she wanted me to speak to him about it. And I didn't want to embarrass him in front of everybody. So I told him, let's go get some napkins. We got in the car and I began the conversation. And at first he looked annoyed, but then he kind of just gave me this dead look in his eyes. And it scared me. He had a hydro flask in his hand and started repeatedly banging it on his head. I was shocked and tried to get him to stop. He jumped out of the car and ran back towards my mom's house, so I followed suit. Once he was inside, he made homicidal threats to everyone and made suicidal threats as well. He ran upstairs and I again followed him, trying to figure out what was going on. He was in our room packing a bag and I asked him, babe, what's wrong? What did I do? And he came at me and said, get the fuck out of my way. And I said, talk to me. And he began repeatedly banging his head on the wall, so I immediately got out of his way. He ran downstairs and outside, and I had some family members that tried to catch him and try to get him to calm down. He became even more upset and hit his head on the mailbox and then proceeded to run away. Another family member suggested that we call the police based on the fact that he had made suicidal comments and banged his head on a variety of pretty hard objects and was afraid that he might have a concussion and could pass out anywhere. So
okay, so I know this is getting pretty intense, right? But I have to be honest with you guys, and this is just me being unbiased. I'm not taking sides. Even after I say this, I'm still not taking sides. But because in her story, she is involving her family as witnesses to some of the things that she's saying within this whole story that she's giving, it's more believable to me, because she can have friends, family come on here and actually vouch for her because they were witnesses. So that is why her story is more believable to me than his story, because he just got on here and started rambling. He really couldn't involve any witnesses into some of the quote unquote beatings that he was giving her, she was giving him. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't do it, but she's involving some of her family members and things like that within her story, in some serious stories about how, you know, they were at a family gathering or it was the holidays. And so for me, that makes it more believable. Her story makes it more believable for me. So that is why I'm more on her side than his side, because I'm like, her mom, her brother, her family members, any friends, any of them can come on here and actually vouch for her because they were witnesses. It's just, it is what it is. They can lie for her. They can. But if she has police reports and all of this stuff going on behind the scenes, it is what it is. Okay. Even other races of women get ghosted and abandoned every day. Nay, I'm actually learning about Korean men as we speak. You guys highly recommended this video, and so I started doing research on this couple. And then somebody, was it yesterday or today, somebody sent me a video of a Korean woman speaking about the truth of what's going on in the Korea men or Asian men culture, which I'm gonna have to review that. And she talks about the R culture. RAPE culture. She talks about how women are dealing with sexism, they're discriminated against, and all type of stuff. Which I have to react to that because, like I said, I made a vow after the Lauren Smithfield situation that I was going to put my ego aside and really make it about Black women and their safety. So if you have a problem with that, you're just going to have to be mad at me. I'm sorry. You should not be caring what these other men out here think. At the end of the day, this should not stop you from dating out. This should make you more aware of what you are going to potentially deal with when you get out here and you really start dating out. Okay. So I'm learning about them, and I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm like, what? So, okay, let's continue.
So the police were called, he was found and arrested. He was put on overnight suicide watch, and the following day he was transferred to a psych ward for mental health evaluation. It's a 72-hour mandatory hold. I was 5 or 6 months pregnant at the time, and I was scared and worried for my husband. It was through this evaluation that we were able to find out about his mental health issues, and he was there diagnosed with PTSD and codependency. So his hold was a 72-hour mandatory mental health evaluation. They only let me see him for about an hour a day for those 3-4 days, and I missed him a lot. He was evaluated by a lot of people. And I'm not gonna lie, initially I didn't really know anything about mental health. I didn't know anything about PTSD. I honestly thought PTSD and postpartum was the same thing. So I spent a lot of time researching and learning about it, and they even gave me a pamphlet, and it was talking about healthier coping mechanisms for him to try out. And they had also acknowledged that self-punishment was a common response to victims of childhood abuse. When he had his final evaluation, they reached out to me and told me that it was my choice to keep him in there or to take him out. They advised further evaluation, but I declined, saying that I wanted my husband back. He had a prescription for some pills, and he didn't like the way that they made him feel, so he didn't want to take them. And I just complied and told myself that he's an adult. I can't make him do anything. And if he says he has got it, I believe he's got it. Time went on, and even though Gohan's self-harm became less frequent, it became more intense. I remember one argument we were having in the kitchen. He went and pulled out a knife, and I went into fight or flight. I started talking a lot of shit, and I was like, "You're gonna pull a knife out on me?" And he looked at me and said, "What? No, this is for me. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt myself." And I was in shock. There was another incident where I came home to my husband's face all bruised and bloody, and I asked him what happened, and he replied that he punched himself. And I know this sounds horrible, but sooner or later it just became something that was normal to me. I quite honestly became desensitized to the situation, and I didn't stop him from trying to hurt himself anymore. It became like a regular thing. He would just always hurt himself. Sorry guys, this is always the hardest part for me to talk about. We're gonna get through this. I always told myself, oh, he hits himself, but he would never hit me.
Okay, I have to stop it. Okay, fragile femininity. I'm not entertaining that question. I'm sorry. Somebody's saying, ego aside, did you avoid speaking bad on non-Black men before? No. No. But I would avoid I'm gonna be real with y'all. Let me keep it all the way real, because y'all know how the space is in the Black women's empowering space. I would avoid topics like this or anything to do with a Black woman dating a white man, because I would be bashed by my own following. So yeah, it's truth. Okay, I had a Black woman make a whole video about me because I came out and spoke against the Lauren Smithfield situation. Anything else? I mean, y'all act like I got a problem with telling you how it really is. I don't have nothing to hide. So y'all know how it is in this space. Y'all know how it is. They'll start calling you a mammy, a pick me. Now you caping for Black men. I cape for myself. Y'all care too much about what they think. And that I feel bad for you, because I don't give a damn. I don't care. And you shouldn't either. So y'all just care too much. So when I said I'm putting my ego aside, because I know how it is, you want to one them up. You ain't the only one, girl. It's me too. They get on my nerves. But I think about it like ego or safety. Which is more valuable to me? Safety? Your safety? Your safety? So I am growing, I'm elevating, and by doing so, I'm putting my ego aside. That's what I'm doing right now with this video. So it is what it is. Can these men do that? No, they can't. They can't. That's how fragile it is. But my ego, we good over here. So I'm gonna continue. Please like the video. Let's continue.
On January 26th of 2020, he proved me wrong. It was a couple weeks after I had given birth to Zavon. Gohan suggested that we get some drinks, as it had been 9 months since we were able to have a drink together. So we did. He ended up getting very drunk, and he's skinny, but he's heavy. I remember trying to bring him upstairs and put him in bed. I got halfway up the stairs when Gohan stood up and looked at me in we're gonna get through this.
Sorry, you guys. I'm sorry you couldn't hear me. So basically, during this, she does a black screen explaining how this is the first time that he actually puts his hands on her. And if you're dealing with a man where he's punching walls or he is throwing things or anything like that, that is a red flag that eventually he's going to start throwing those things at you and he's going to start hitting you. There's no second guessing it. There's no, oh, but he loves me. No. It always starts off to see how you react to certain things, but eventually it gets worse. So if you are ever dealing with a man that's hitting himself, that's hitting walls, punching walls, throwing things, you need to leave that relationship. Seriously. So always remember that. If you don't take anything else away from this video, always remember that. Always remember that. Okay.
Apologized. He proceeded to make comments. I couldn't form any sentences. I didn't know what to say. He could tell something was off, so he asked me what happened. And I said, you don't remember anything that happened last night? And he was like, no, not really. Why? Did I do something wrong? So I said, you don't remember hitting me? And he said, I hit you? And I was like, yeah. He said, I briefly remember something like that, but it felt like a dream. Someone was bothering me, so I hit them, but I thought it was just a dream. And he didn't even apologize. He proceeded to make comments like, well, I bet it probably didn't hurt that bad. And that he wasn't in his right mind. And he went as far to even say that I deserved it. I grabbed Savon and I left for the whole day. And when I returned, he was on hands and knees begging for my forgiveness, saying that he would never let it happen again. And he did, in fact, remember hitting me, and said that when his dad used to hit him, when he would try to call his dad out on it, he used to say things like, I don't remember. He would just brush it off by saying he didn't remember.
Okay, now this is just an example, right? Because we're being introduced to her truth. Later, we're going to be reacting to his truth, you guys. Give it time. Y'all know I don't come on here and do one-sided nothing. So this is her truth, and then we're going to get into his truth, okay? Okay? But I wanted to just say this. Whenever a man does something abusive to you, two things, and he clings to you like that afterwards, begging you to forgive him and come back, the only reason why he is doing this, the only reason is because he either suffers from abandonment issues or he suffers from codependency issues. So he's only clinging to you out of his trauma. It's not because he actually wants you back or he feels like he's going to do right by you. He only wants to cling to you because that's part of his trauma. So it's either because he suffered from some type of abandonment or he is codependent on you. And another thing I want to point out, when I watched the How We Met video, he said in his version of the story, because you know how they did two parts. There was her version and then his version, right? And so in his version of the story, he said, your aura. I was attracted to your aura. Instantly, I'm like, oh my God, this is the energy vampire. So he instantly was connected to her energy, her aura. I don't know. There's something about her. I don't know. And he leached onto her and he's been sucking her dry ever since. So of course he's clinging to her like, please don't leave me. Because he know he wrong. But he only did that out of codependency of her good energy, her aura. Go watch the How I Met video, his version. He didn't even know the word. He said, I think it was her aura or her energy. Y'all got to pay attention to the signs. I know a lot of y'all would probably be impressed and fantasize about, oh, the aura. Girl, that's, my antennas is going off. Aura? What you mean by aura? What you mean by that? I would have had to ask him, what did he mean by that? Because a lot of men that say stuff like that, they'll say things like, oh, I can't live without you. Come on. Go watch the video. I watched it. I said, oh, no, he didn't say her aura, her energy. And then they met one day off Tinder and he didn't go home for a week. Red flag. Nope.
And he said he learned deflection from his dad. All in all, I decided to stay with Belgian. I loved him and I tried to justify the abuse by telling myself, poor Belgian, he's just a kid who got kicked around too many times. I wanted to help him. I believed in him and I believed in us. In November of 2020, when I was a couple months pregnant with Saphir, it was Thanksgiving morning and Gohan and I had woken up early to be in the kitchen to make our contribution of our dishes to our friends and family for the holidays. We were in the kitchen all morning because the house was soon to be flooded with a whole bunch of people. And my pregnant self did not want to be maneuvering around all those people. We made our food, but being as I was pregnant, I was really tired. It was around noon and guests were due around 2:00. I told my mom I needed a nap and that I was gonna head upstairs and she asked Gohan to continue to help her to set up before the guests arrived. He followed me upstairs and said, if you're going to sleep, I'm going to sleep too. And I was like, can you please go help my mom? She asked for your help, and I said that you could join me afterwards. And he was like, no, if I can't go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. You think just because you're pregnant, you get special treatment? I'm tired too. I got in bed and I tried to ignore him. He came up to me and kept bothering me, shaking me, pinching me, and trying to do anything to get me to wake up. I blocked it all out until he slapped me. I immediately got up because I was so angry, and I started yelling. And my older brother walked into the room and tried to break it up. They separated me and put me in another room, and I called one of my other brothers, and I was hysterical. And he was, of course, angry, and he came over and he did slap Myeongjin. And I really hate this narrative that is going on about angry Black people, because in a majority of these situations, Gohan was always the aggressor. Please bear with me, guys. I'm trying my hardest to get through this. After some time had passed, Gohan and I went through.
Now, okay, so I have to keep it real with y'all. Okay? I'm not taking sides. But I'm leaning more to her story because that is how Black people are treated. People do things to us every day, all day, every day. And you know what? We got to take it to the chin because we Black. If you don't know what that's like, I don't expect for you to understand. So, of course, I'm leaning more towards her story. They love to paint us out to be angry for no reason. This man over here hitting on her, doing all types of stuff to her. Is she just not supposed to do nothing? So, of course, I'm leaning more towards her story. Who wouldn't if you're Black? You deal with microaggression and racism and all other BS that people throw at us every day, all day. So of course I'm leaning more towards her story. Of course he want to paint himself to be innocent. What did I tell you guys? I said the number one thing as a Black person, it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. If you decide to get into an interracial relationship, you're always going to have to be concerned with the fact that at any point in time, this person that you're laying next to at night could use their privilege against you. That's dealing with the reality of being in an interracial relationship. It shouldn't scare you. It should just make you aware. It don't matter if you're male or female. You're always going to have to be worried about if this man or this woman that you're laying next to is going to use their privilege against you and paint you out to be something that you're not. But because you fit the stereotype, they will use that against you. That can happen in divorce court. That can happen in child hearings or child support. It's something that you're going to have to get real about. It is what it is. So y'all can be mad at me. It's the truth, though. It's something you're going to have to be aware. That's why you got to vet. That's why you can't rush into relationships today. And you can't just go off of stereotypes. We live in weird times. So it don't matter. Even if you date a Black man, you never know. He may pull a knife on you in your sleep. You just don't know nowadays. That is the world that we live in. So you shouldn't be scared. You just need to slow down, get to know people, befriend people without sex, without feelings, to see if they are a good person. A high value person is a person with integrity. It is what it is. They're going to do right by you when you're not around. Or if they do you wrong, they can take accountability because people are not perfect.
Through a rough patch where we were fighting a lot and I wanted a divorce. Savon started picking up on Gohan's behaviors and would smack his head into walls when he was upset. And I was devastated with the influence that he was having on my baby. He was verbally abusive to the kids and just some friendship. I've always had a relationship with Myeongjin's mother and little brother. I love them a lot. Every time Myeongjin frustrated me, They would be my peace in the situation and help me get through a lot of stuff. Family is very important to me, and seeing as how he never had closure with his parents and we were fighting a lot, I wanted to invite them over to our place to see Gohan heal from his past trauma and for them to meet the boys as well. So they came
Coco,
on
you
a
got
trip
a
to
point.
America. I thought it was going to be a lot of fun, but I ended up underestimating the amount of family trauma that they had actually had. Every day was a different fight. Gohan told me that his mom and dad didn't like me for multiple reasons, which hurt my feelings because I thought at least with his mom I had had a cool relationship. We ended up having a family meeting and he got called out and then admitted to trying to sabotage our relationship by saying I hated my mom and dad so much that I wanted somebody to hate them as much as I did. I wanted you to hate them with me. I genuinely loved his mother and brother, and I also understand that they feel the duty to protect Myeongjin just as I had. There was a situation with Savan when we were out shooting our music videos. I came home and Saphir was with his grandpa, and Savan was nowhere to be found, and Myeongjin's mom was sleeping on the couch. When I looked around the apartment for him, I found him underneath a pile of clothes and blankets in the office where there are lots of wires and plugs and dangers. I got really worried, but I just thought to myself, Myeongjin's mom is really tired. She probably needs a break. She had been watching those kids like no other. And I just thought to myself, it's okay to tap out sometimes. Everyone needs a break. And I would just bring them to my mom's house. So I told her I was leaving. I took Savan and I left. Later, when I told Myeongjin about the situation, he became very angry and he said that he would speak to his mother about it. I told him, no, don't do it. I don't want her to get upset. But he did it anyways. And the next morning when I saw her, she was very upset with me. She kept repeating, how could Rose be like this to her mother-in-law? And like directly, 새롬이가 어떻게 시어머니한테 그럴 수가 있냐? But I didn't understand what I had done wrong. So I had ended up going out with Yujin and Myeongjin, and they were both talking, saying they really didn't understand why she was upset at me either, so that they were going to speak to her again. I told them that I didn't really want to be a part of the conversation, and I stayed in the car, and then about 10 minutes after, I had gone up to the stairs to the apartment, and I tried opening the door, and it was locked, and I heard yelling from the inside. I got really worried. I started banging on the door. His little brother opened the door and let me in, and they were just having a screaming match. And she said, if I can't be of any help, I'll just leave. And he said, then just go. She said, 엄마가 도움이 안 되면은 나 그냥 갈게. And then Myeongjin responded, 그럼 가세요. And I was in shock. I was like, what's going on here? I thought you guys were having a conversation so that we could fix the issue. So I tried to send everybody else away so I could just have a conversation with his mom. But Gohan's dad ended up interjecting and said, there's no need for this conversation. She wants to go. You guys can't communicate. There's too many cultural differences. Just buy our plane tickets. And then Myeongjin came and also grabbed my hand and said, they've already made up their minds. They're leaving. Let's just go. So with both parties seemingly set on one party leaving and the other party being set on letting the other party leave, I left the situation alone. When his family left, he made the decision to cut ties with them. I asked him multiple times if he was sure. He said, yes, I hate my family, and hopefully now you understand why. He then proceeded to blame me and say that it was all my fault because I'm the one who wanted to invite them to the States in the first place. I felt bad and genuinely believed it was my fault as well. I was advised by a family friend to reach out to my mother-in-law and let her know why I wouldn't be able to be keeping in contact for a while, but knowing how angry Gohan could get sometimes scared me. I left the situation alone and didn't reach out to her. And that was my mistake because after speaking to her later on, she expressed that if I would have just gone up to her and gave her a hug and said, Mom, please don't go, she would have stayed. I had no idea that in Korean culture, rejecting or refusing several times before finally accepting an offer is the cultural norm. So when she expressed to me that she wanted to leave, Myeongjin and her husband were both saying, don't even try to stop us. I just let her leave. So over the months, I thought it was really sad. Family is very important to me, and Savan loved his grandma. I encouraged Gohan little by little to reach out to his family. I wanted to share the kids with them, be able to send grandma pictures, and just be a beautiful extended family. And eventually when he did, I was happy for them. We started talking about going to Korea and where we would live and all these fun ideas for our extended family. I have no idea where this "I made him cut off his family" narrative is coming from, but I genuinely had love for them and we did have a good relationship. I'm just sorry. The most shocking night of our relationship was one time I had a conversation with Myungjin about moving forward, where I said, "You're a father of 2 now. We need to work on your healing, and you can't keep using what your dad did to you in the past as an excuse to not change." And he became so angry. He was so upset. He was like, "An excuse? What do you mean an excuse? I got beat up by my own father so much. This is why I am the way that I am." He was just very angry. And when he went to bed, he was still very upset. That night, in the middle of my sleep, I woke up to being slapped. Gohan had mounted me and began repeatedly slapping me, yelling at me in Korean. And he said, "야, 이 새끼야, 아빠한테 인사 안 해?" So in English, that translates to, "Hey, you bastard, are you not going to say hello to your dad?" Which was one of the instances that he told me he ended up getting beat in. He continued hitting me, and I started crying and begging for him to get off of me.
Okay, I just wanted to stop her right there. In her story, she brings up the fact that he continuously and constantly, whenever he would abuse her, whether it was emotionally or physically, he would blame his trauma. If you are dealing with a man like that, you got to leave him, sis. Safely, though. Okay? The only way you can leave a man like this is to plan. You cannot just abruptly just feel like you could just drop everything and leave. You're going to have to plan it and be safe about it and make sure that you involve people that you can trust in order to get out. But anytime that a man blames things that happen in his past for why he abuses you, that's basically him abusing you more and further and validating it in the process, which is another form of deflecting from them willing to change and to heal and to work on themselves. So at every turn, he keeps showing her how he's not changing. He doesn't want to change. Okay, so I'm going to stop and add some people as mods. Who wants to be a mod? Remove anybody in the chat that's being rude, disrespectful, name calling, any of that, please. Okay. I'm gonna just randomly choose people. Okay, Faith Girl, you always show up, so I'm adding you as a mod. Shay T, because you asked first, girl. You tired of it too. I'm gonna add you as a mod. Let me see. Unique Star, you show up. I'm gonna add you as a mod. Hold on, you disappeared on me. Let me see. Princess. Is it Joanna? Joanna? I'm missing somebody. Hold on, wait a minute. K-Star, I'm looking for you. I don't know. How I lose you? Can you comment again? Because I don't know. I lost you. I don't know. The chat moving so fast. I can't control the chat unless I go through I'm gonna have to get you next time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't find you. So I'm gonna just pick another random. Goddess K, I'm gonna add you as a mod too. Okay. All right, let's continue.
And he wouldn't. So at that time, I will admit that I hit him back. I hit him back so that he would get off of me. Then I asked him, what the hell is wrong with you? And he told me, this is how my dad used to beat me. So don't you dare look me in the eyes ever again and tell me that what I'm doing is an excuse. He says that I asked for it. He then later proceeded to tell me that when he hits me, that I can't hit him back. And I asked him why. And he said, because he was abused and I don't know what it's like to be abused, so I can't defend myself in that situation. If I were to hit him back, then I would be abusing him. Leading up to the night that Gohan left on Saturday, April 9th, 2022, we went to a party with some friends. We were having a good time, but we have kids, so they have a bedtime and a schedule. So when 10 o'clock rolled around, it was time for us to leave the party and go pick up the kids. Gohan proceeded to say, so we left, went and picked up the kids. And then after we got the kids, Gohan proceeded to say, I want to take the kids to the party. And I was like, what? A party is no place for kids. There's going to be people drinking, smoking, vibing. And I was like, no. And then he said, why do we have to let them ruin our lives? He said, why do we have to let them hold us back from having some fun? And why can't we just take them with us to have some fun? And proceeded to ask if we could go back to the party. I was really angry at the word choice that he decided to use when he said ruin our lives. But a part of me really understood where he was coming from, because being a young parent, I can understand why somebody would struggle with having the amount of responsibilities that we did, especially like at our age. I felt really bad for him at the time and I caved in. We went back to the party with the babies and we were there for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Where are the young girls at? Where are the early 20s something girls at? I'm gonna need you to come to the front, sis. Come to the front. Because y'all be asking me all the time, Yoni, what advice would you give a 22, 21, 23-year-old? Go live your life. This is a young mother in a toxic relationship like this. Do you really want to go through this? I'm sure she want to go out and have fun too. But she thought that she was creating a family with a man that she could, I guess, I eventually depend on. Because I get it. You know, when he came to America, he was not able to work. I get it. I get it. But all of this for love at 20-something? No. No. Go live your life and go have fun. Like this, you shouldn't be going through or dealing with all of this at such a young age. You have so much, there's so much to do outside of starting a family and having kids. I mean, it could be a beautiful thing, but with the right person. It could be a beautiful thing after you go out into the world and you find yourself, you discover yourself. And who knows? When you get done going out here finding and discovering yourself, you may not even want kids in a family. Let's be real. That is not for everybody. But give yourself that space in your 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old self to just be free and not burdened with all of this. Because it's a lot. She should be out enjoying her life too. You know? So don't rush it. And I'm telling you, a lot of these men, it don't matter what race they are. They're not ready. And it doesn't make them a bad person. They just have to get ready. So while they're getting ready, you focus on you. Go take that trip, travel abroad, but don't, just have fun and meet people and learn different cultures and languages and study and educate yourself and just really be carefree. And don't be so hung up on these relationships that you see online, because they're not perfect in any relationship. It doesn't matter if it's marriage or boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. It takes a lot of work. And that's something that people need to start getting real about. There's a lot of women that they want to get married, but do you want to be a wife though? Because that takes a lot of work. Do you want to be a wife? Everybody wants the wedding and the dress and the ceremony. They want the family and the kids, But are you ready to work? Because that's what it takes to be in these relationships. That's what it takes to be a mom, a wife. It's a lot of responsibility. And I think we as women, we got to start being real about that and stop fantasizing it. So I don't know, y'all. I'm just saying, you better go out here and live your life. You only got one life to live and you can't relive it.
Before, I was literally like, I can't handle this anymore. This is not it. I'm going home. If you want to stay, you can find a ride home. But he was like, no, I'm going to go home with you guys. So we get in the car, we're driving home, and then he starts crying and he's screaming at me. And he says that he's having a mental breakdown. I told him to relax, and I tried to distract him by trying to get him to put his attention elsewhere. I tried to distract him by asking him what he wanted for dinner, if he wanted sushi, if he wanted pizza. And he told me he just wanted to talk to me. So I responded that I can't talk to you when you're like this. So you need to take 5. You can come back and revisit the conversation. When I tried to revisit the conversation later, he told me he didn't want to talk about it anymore. April 10th, 2022 was the night that Gohan left. We were cuddling, watching Bridgerton. We went to Walmart. He changed the air filter. He gave me a goodnight kiss. He said he loved me, and he went to bed. I woke up around 3 a.m. and I noticed that he wasn't next to me in bed, but I just assumed that he was in the bathroom or the office or the kitchen, and I didn't think too much about it. I went back to sleep. I woke up hours later and he still wasn't in bed. I checked my phone and he stopped sharing his location. My heart sank. I checked the whole apartment and he wasn't there. I went into the office and he logged me out of all of our emails and accounts. Luckily, I was still logged into one of them on my phone. I looked at the floor and I saw my passport. That was another red flag because I never keep my important documents on the floor. So I checked our filing cabinets with that held all of our important documents, and everything was gone. Cards, social securities, health insurance, you name it, it was all gone. So I was hysterical at this point, and I called everyone that I knew, all of our mutual friends, and they all thought I was joking.
Now, I just want to stop her. Okay? Now, he's making claims that she was abusive, controlling, right? Why would, as a man, a protector, why would you leave your children with her? Why would you abandon your children? That doesn't make any sense to me. So that is definitely a flaw in his story. We're going to get into his story. We're going to get into it. But I just don't see if your life is in danger, what about your kids? That doesn't make sense. You just leave them behind? And then I saw the video of him in the club kissing that girl. I did. I saw her. Sir, you in the club kissing another woman and you leave your children with an abuser? Because that makes sense.
My oldest brother came over to watch the kids, and I was able to see in my email that he got an Airbnb out of the state. So I assumed he purchased a flight, and I got in my car and went to the airport. And I ended up going to the airport with a friend. While we were at the airport, we ended up explaining the situation to an officer. I told the officer that if he wants to leave, that's fine, but I need my documents back because he took both mine and the boys. And then I got an alert that $10,000 in cash had been taken out of our family bank account. The officer said with the amount of money he took and with him refusing to give your documents back, if you press charges right now, we'll be able to go and arrest him. And I refused to have my husband arrested, and I didn't want to press charges at the time. He started a report and gave me a case number just in case I wanted to press charges later. I tried reaching out to Gohan multiple times. He didn't answer any of my calls and would only text me. When I asked him about my IDs and cards and stuff, He sent me a message saying that I should go to the bank and make a new one and that I should learn to be independent as how he learned how to be independent even when he didn't want to be. And that's what made him stronger. The bank wouldn't even look at me without an ID. So I had to go to the DMV, borrow $20 from my mom and get one of those little paper cards so I could remove the rest of the funds from our joint bank account. We had been saving money, not only to move into our new home, but for the boys and just bills in general in there. When I called him out for taking $10,000 out of our joint account, our family account, he said that I was lucky he didn't take more. He left the three of us high and dry without any remorse. I ended up reaching out to Gohan's mom and told her everything that happened at first. She was angry. But then she became a little bit more sympathetic towards the end, and she started crying, stating that her husband had done similar things to her, and he would leave her alone with the kids for months to years on end without her having any idea when he was coming back. She said, if I want to love a man like Myungjin, then I would have to cry and suffer a lot. I told her about him hitting me, and she said, I feel bad for you, but my son must have went through such a traumatic experience when he was younger in order for him to be able to do something like that to you. She also stated that Savon and Saphir were beautiful babies, but if Myungjin decided not to have a relationship with his children, then she wouldn't be able to have a relationship with the boys. She said that just as Savon and Saphir are precious to you, Myungjin is precious to me. She encouraged.
Y'all, this is crazy. I just wanted to add, I warn you guys all the time about this. Men have no problem putting themselves first. Him taking that money out of their joint account, knowing that he knew that she had 2 mouths to feed that are his offspring. One thing, men, it don't matter what race they are, they will put themselves first. They will leave you high and dry. There is a reason why I come on this app and I say, you need to get a man that's financially stable. It's not about so you can get some shoes or a handbag. It's to secure yourself. Because these men, they have no problem not wearing a condom, ejaculating their sperm everywhere. But then when it comes down to it, they don't want to take care of their responsibilities. So you make it about yourself when you go out here and you call yourself dating. You deal with men that are financially stable. If they not, well, sucks to be you. Get your life together. Go get a job. Get more education. Become a higher achiever. Because when it comes down to it, they always say mommy's babies, daddy's maybes, even in marriage, because he just dumped her with all the responsibility. And she can't even hold him financially responsible. So I don't even know why men like to give women a hard time when you know this is how it is. You know this is how it is. This ain't about no handbag. This ain't about no shoes. This is not about Instagram. This is about security. I would never tell you to bring a baby into this world with a man that's not financially stable. Broke men shouldn't even get access to you at all. Not through sex and not through childbirth. And this is why he just dumped everything on her and left her high and dry.
Encouraged me to reach out to Myungjin and to not escalate the situation and not refute anything that he was saying, just comply, take a break from YouTube, and live quietly with the kids until he decided to make a return. Myungjin ended up going back to Korea 4 days after being gone with absolutely no contact. I couldn't do what she was trying to tell me to do. I wanted to try and show that I cared, and I said that I was hopping on a plane to Korea too. I was devastated and made an irrational decision to go to Korea so that I could at least get some sort of clarity about what happened, about the situation, some closure. And I know it was stupid, but I was hoping that he would have at least been willing to meet up with me when I went to the country. So I feel like normally people have time to prepare for life after a divorce or to prepare for a divorce in the beginning at all. I didn't have any of that. It just literally just happened. It was sprung on me and it was like, now I have to get a divorce. I was confused and I needed the answers. His mom and his little brother kept in contact with me up until the day that Gohan arrived in Korea. And then they kind of just like went ghost, but I was already on a plane there. I ended up staying in a quarantine facility. I reached out to him every day. And he finally got on a phone call with me where he proceeded to berate me and ended the phone call saying that he doesn't want anything to do with me or my kids, and that I can live in America and do whatever I want to do with the babies, and that he's going to live in Korea and do whatever he wants to do. He later backtracked saying,
now listen, what she's saying is believable right here about how he didn't want anything to do with his kids. I mean, if you leave them and you go back to Korea and you don't have money, you don't have resources, he don't got money. So you think he got money to come back to see the kids? You think he got money to give her? No. So that's why it's more believable. Her story makes sense, you guys. To those that are like, I don't understand how you can decide. Nobody's taking sides in this situation. But her story is more believable because, I mean, how do you just leave your kids behind like that? And then you not working, you don't have no job to the point where you gotta steal $10,000 out of a joint account. And you didn't even work for it. I guess housework is worth $10,000. Money that you take away from your family that you're supposed to be providing for. That's crazy, you guys. That is why her story is more believable. I give out. She's a Black woman. It's crazy.
That he wanted to have a relationship with the kids, just not a relationship with me. To which I said he should have handled legally like an adult. He denied the claims of cheating up until the video surfaced, saying that if he didn't sleep with anyone, then it wasn't cheating. As soon as that video surfaced, I knew something was bound to happen. After the video of him cheating surfaced, he tried to justify his behaviors by saying, isn't it a good thing that I cheated? Don't you think that it'll be better for my rap career? The phone calls are heavily fabricated and edited. He took conversations from multiple phone calls and pieced them together. He took a lot of things out of context. For example, changing his hairstyles to appease the Black community. Never happened. And we were literally having a conversation about cultural appropriation and why it wasn't okay for him to do certain hairstyles. The mentioning of putting cameras in the house was
also, you guys, another reason that her story is more believable to me. This is a wannabe rapper that edited voice audio. Now, put 2 and 2 together with that. You don't think he's capable of editing voice audio? He's a rapper. So that is what they do. And if you know anything about editing and making music, you can take a voice audio, you can add it and do whatever you want to do with that. So you put 2 and 2 together for those that don't want to believe her. Come on, use common sense. So it definitely makes sense. He probably looks at that type of stuff all day, every day, if he's really, truly trying to become this quote unquote rapper. So I know the software, I know what it looks like, and it's so easy to take an audio and go in and edit it. So it is what it is. It's believable to me.
It was literally a conversation that I was talking about for the safety of me and my kids. Gohan literally admits to coercion in a text message. He was exploiting my childhood trauma and used it against me to manipulate me into saying certain things. He made me believe that he was returning to the States for weeks. And then 2 days before his visa appointment, he was saying that he was going to back out and that he wasn't going to go at all. But if he wanted me to come back, then all I needed to do was admit to hurting him and say yes to his accusations, even though it never happened. He didn't care if it was the truth or not. He would say, you love me, right? You want to be with me, right? You want us to be a big, happy family, right? You want the kids to have their dad, right? Then just say it. Just say you abused me. Gohan literally did a voiceover in some parts of the audio as well. And if there's one thing that I would...
Y'all, $10,000 is over 12 mil in Korea. Girl, I know you lying. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I did this video. I did not know that. Oh my goodness. Now this story gets crazier. This story done got crazier for me because I didn't even know that. 10,000. So no wonder he didn't take all of it. It was plenty, more than enough. So no wonder he was caught in the club kissing on some woman. That wasn't black, by the way. I hope y'all noticed that. So he think he big meech over there in Korea. He think he big balling. That's crazy. Okay, so it doesn't make you richer? Please explain. I'm gonna wait for y'all to explain. 12 million one isn't that much. Oh, okay. So when it okay. So how much is what can 12 million get you in Korea? That's my question. Oh, it's only 12. Okay, y'all made it seem like it was a lot. So things are more expensive there. 12 million isn't that much. Okay, so the girl, I was about to say, the way she wrote that, I'm like, what? No, I've never been to Korea. That's why, that's not a lot of money. $12,000, that's not a lot of money. But she made it seem, let's read this. She said 100,000. No, she said 10,000 US dollars is over 12 million. Korea won. So 3 months worth. I was about to say, y'all. I was about to say. Let's continue.
Admit to is that I can definitely admit to being verbally abusive at times. And about his tattoo, I hated his tattoo. I told it looked like Biggie Smalls. Bragged to our friends about getting it before, but everybody had kind of just thought he was joking. But he was so proud of it. And whenever we fought, he would say things like, well, at least I have you on my arm. And he would give it kisses. And to address the situation using chopsticks for torment, Byung-jin wanted to try some anal activities. And I won't go into any further detail regarding this absurd claim that I was laughing in while he begged me to stop taking photos of him during this activity. It's bewildering. The burn claim, the metal rod claim, punching himself in the balls, going outside naked, those were all times where he was inflicting self-harm and then tried to spin the narrative that I did these. As far as the child support situation goes, I do not want nor do I need anything from Gohan. Being a parent is a full-time job. We do not always have to be boyfriend and girlfriend. We do not always have to be husband and wife, but we should always be mom and dad. Gohan has made it clear that not only is he unfit, but he just doesn't care about these children. His best interests came first. And I hope to never hear the words that you love me or these kids out of your mouth ever again. This is not love. You were sinking and you tried to take me down with you, but I'm not sinking. If you drop a diamond to pick up some rocks, it doesn't mean that the diamond is going to stop shining. And I'm going to keep on shining. So all in all, if you want to support Myungjin, please go ahead, do so. If you want to continue to support me and the boys, please, again, go ahead, continue to do so. The situation has been very exhausting for my mental health, and I refuse to engage any further. From this point moving forward, if you want to argue with somebody, argue amongst yourselves, argue with yourselves. I will no longer be addressing this situation, and I will happily be moving on with my children. I know this was a lot to take in. I just really appreciate you guys taking the time to, watch this video if you've made it this far. I tried my best as a mother, as somebody who really did love Gohan, to protect him from the situation, but seeing as how he wanted to go out there and make things that could have stayed private a very, very public issue, I had to get on here and share my side of the story. And you know, they always say there's three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the truth. And it just really sucks that this everybody kind of had to be put in this position, in this situation. But just moving forward, if you're here to support me and the boys, let's do this.
Okay, so towards the end, she put in more receipts to back up some of the things that she is saying. Which, if you would like to go look at those receipts, I would head over to her channel or their old channel, Jin and Juice, to see what else she wanted to add. But it's just more receipts backing up her story. And I'll make sure to leave a link once the video is over with in my description box. Okay. I'm going to fast forward past this, and we're going to get to Gohan's side of things, because I always like to give people, both parties involved, a chance to defend themselves. So, but I mean, him being in the club kissing another woman ain't helping his case. I'm just being honest.
Gohan from Jen and Juice kissing on another girl in a Hongdae club. Tea in the comments.
Damn, it's probably been a long time since you guys saw me.
So he just gonna leave his kids. Y'all, that is a mess. This is a mess. So let's get into his side of things. This is crazy.
There's been a lot going on for the past 2 months, probably including the TikTok video of me kissing another girl in the club, my sudden disappearance. So today in this video, I wanted to address everything. I don't know if I'm going to keep this short or if I'm going to just like spill everything. The reason I've been avoiding this whole situation, somebody told me it would be very devastating for the babies. The more I think about it, the truth needs to be revealed to continue on living like a healthy life. You probably know me from Jin and Juice. We started YouTube about 2 years ago. Somebody said that I left America because I missed my family and made a whole video about it, but that is not true. I would say I escaped because I was going through domestic violence. Shout out to Johnny Depp for giving me the courage to make this video right now. So I don't know if you can see, I got a 2nd-degree burn mark from burning me with the hair straightener at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I've had knives on my throat.
Okay. Thank you. Is it Alandria? Thank you for educating us on that. Okay. I've never been to Korea, so I don't really know Korean culture like that. So to those that are educating us with some of the terms that they're using and all of that, like, thank you. But let's get into it. Now, y'all, did she burn him? See, and this is where it goes from it's her word against his word. She never addressed if she actually burned him or not. So I'm gonna assume that it's true. I'm gonna assume that she did burn him because he has a scar there. You know, it is what it is. Now, was he hitting himself? I think so. I do. But I mean, the burn didn't come from nowhere. So I'm assuming if somebody hitting me, eventually I'm gonna start doing things back. That's why when you're in a toxic relationship, you should leave before it gets worse. So he may have burned him. She may have actually burned him, but he wants to use that as an excuse for why he did what he did. But yeah, it could have been maybe self-defense or whatever the case may be. It could be. I don't know. Like I said, there's 3 stories that we need to consider. I guess we got to consider Ash and Chris. We got to consider Sarah Rose's story, Gohan's story, and then the truth.
With somebody threatening to kill me, that somebody prevented me from having any power or control, including finances. Last year, we made a company called Jin and Juice LLC. She's the sole CEO and employee in that company.
Okay, so she said that he burned himself. I missed that part. So he self-inflicted the burn on himself. This is a mess. Listen, if you are in a situation like this as a woman, particularly a Black woman, and this man is self-inflicting pain on himself, and then he goes and this is this is like what Black men deal with white women. You know, they self-inflict harm onto themselves to leave marks and bruises, and then they play the victim. Same thing. Don't matter if you're male or female. When you interracially date, this is something that you have to deal with. If you're Black and you're dealing with a non-Black person that is self-inflicting harm on themselves, they could easily turn around and victimize themselves. So I would have got out once he started doing that. I'm Black. I don't got time to be dealing with that. I'm sorry. This is crazy. So this is I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'm sorry, I haven't. Unless it was a Black man dealing with a white woman or a non-Black woman. We've seen how they'll self-inflict harm or have white girl tears and they victimize themselves and make the Black man the villain. You know how that go. But I've never seen it like this, y'all. So thank you for clarifying that, because I didn't catch her speaking on the burn, but okay, she spoke on the burn. He self-inflicted the burn on himself, which it ties into her story. Makes sense to me. Okay, let's continue.
She did not want to put my name in there, I'm assuming because she thought I would run away or get myself a house in America. All the money we make from Gin and Juice, including any sponsorships, go straight into Gin and Juice LLC, which is her bank account. I think I need to start from the beginning. I'll just tell you my whole fucking story. We met in Korea, but we met on Tinder. There's a whole video explaining how we met on the subway. That's a straight up lie. We did not just meet on the subway. We met in the subway station because we decided to meet through Tinder. She was kind of embarrassed about.
Okay, so he talks about how she created an LLC. Sir, how are you going to create an LLC? You don't have an American citizen. You're not an American citizen. You don't have American citizenship. So of course the LLC is in her name. Is that supposed to be a jab at her? How? You don't have a job. You don't even have citizenship. Can someone please explain that to me? Somebody said K Diddy. So I didn't get that part. And then if you don't have citizenship, you can't even get a bank account, or can you? I don't even think you can get a bank account. So of course the money is going into her bank account. I'm pretty sure. No, because they did share. No, they had a shared bank account. He was able to get access to the bank account. So she must have added him on. But you can't get no LLC. You can't get no LLC if you don't have an American citizenship. So I just didn't understand that part. I don't get that part. But I don't think she could have added him on the business account, because when you create a YouTube channel, you automatically create a business if you did not know that. And so if you have a business account, I don't think she could have added him onto the business account, because I don't think he had an American citizenship, but she could have added him to a personal joint account. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure. Educate me in the comment section about that if you work at a bank, how that works if you're a bank teller.
The fact that we met through an online dating app. We dated for 3 months in Korea. We went to America. She was pregnant. We had a baby. So I decided I would just get my green card over there. The thing is, I still don't have my green card. It took like a whole year for me to even get it.
Somebody said you don't need American citizenship to get an LLC. You have to have a social security number. He wouldn't have a social security number. Can someone please explain that to me? Because you can't get an LLC without a social security number.
into like the interview, like almost a year. I did get approved for a 2-year conditional green card, but we haven't went to the interview, so I can extend that to a 10-year. My green card is going to expire very soon, so I'm probably not going to be able to legally step in America anyways. The main reason I decided to escape to Korea and not anywhere else in America, it was literally impossible for me to even think of staying there without without proper documents. I can't get it without her help. I was basically done getting abused. I did not have a life. I slept 3 to 4 hours on average every single day. And mind you, I'm somebody who usually sleeps like 12 to 14 fucking hours on average. She would basically just trap me in the room and gaslight me into editing videos back to back to back to back. I do not think she is willing to send the kids over to Korea for me to be able to take care of them. I've asked her to like send them over 3 months at a time, 6 months if that's possible, or more. I'll take care of them. She denied, so and I do want to see my kids, so I am going to have to internationally get a divorce and get like the judge to, I've changed almost 100% of the poop diapers because she didn't want to. I mean, she says her smell is really sensitive, so she can't stand the smell of baby poop. But I don't like baby poop smells either. And 95% of the pee, I've had to do like pretty much literally everything from filming to editing, feeding the babies. She was usually just on the bed, just watching TikTok all day. For the first like 6 months, I could not work. It took a very long time for USCIS to give me a work visa even. And I wanted to work under the table, like construction work or something, but she didn't want to risk me getting deported. She said she would work 3 jobs, which she did. She barely slept and she worked very hard. In that phase, I was very stressed about the fact that I'm not bringing in any income for the family. I felt like luggage, drank almost every day. One day, I drank a whole bottle of wine. I was sleeping on the floor. This is what she says. She wanted to wake me up and take me upstairs. I started punching her shin. When I woke up, she told me that. She told me I started it. I don't remember. I'm not denying the fact that it might have happened. It could have very much happened and it's not right. And I am sorry for that. But that was her excuse for starting to hit me, slap me around when things got heated, or simply if I didn't agree with what she thought. My girlfriend freestyle raps in Korean. That video blew up. Our channel blew up. The money started coming in like crazy for a while. Before all that, the content for our YouTube channel, we were
you guys, is it just me or does he keep looking over to the right? Y'all know what they say. Where are my people that are subscribed to the body language guy? Where are y'all at? Now I know I ain't crazy. I know I'm not crazy. But do y'all keep seeing how he keep looking over to the right? Sir, what are you looking at? Is it that you're trying to figure out your next thought? That's suspicious. That is suspicious. He keeps looking. Just pay attention. I know some of y'all that watched his side the first time, y'all didn't notice that. I'm like, I had to zoom in. He keeps looking over to the right. I'm like, what? It seemed like he's making up this story as he goes. Interesting.
We were happy filming. I was happy editing and like interacting with our whole community. I felt like we kept it really, I don't know, I say genuine. And then after that, most things, I'm sure you guys can tell, are scripted. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I would say that's not the lifestyle that I wanted. She thought it was necessary for us to do that because it guaranteed us a certain amount of income. I don't think so, because even if we didn't do all of it, people subscribed channel and loved us because of who we were. It was very hard to have an opinion. I'm a very strong opinioned person, but she did not allow herself to lose, even if she was wrong. I feel like if I didn't agree with what she said, she usually got very aggressive and violent. I'm not trying to generalize anything. She did. That's when she would beat me. I was okay with that. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm a saint. I've done many wrongs too in our whole relationship dynamic. It is my fault that
Y'all, wait a minute. I just Googled it. I knew it. I'm like, he keeps looking off to the right. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. See, Yoni, I'm always have your back. Okay? I'm going to always have your back. I freaking knew it because I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I know I be watching the body language guy on YouTube. I highly recommend that you watch the body language guy. here on YouTube. Why? Because as a Black woman, you don't have many allies. You cannot rely on one particular group. That includes the men within your community, okay? So you need to be educating yourself on body language. That's part of vetting, okay? I knew it. He kept looking out to the right. I'm going to show you. Ooh, wait. Let me share my screen. Listen, these dusties, they out here working, but I'm going to be working harder. I sure am. All righty. Let's blow it on up. Okay, it says, what does body language mean when you look to the right? Lying. I mean, do we need to continue though? I mean, I could give you some more. I could give you some more content. This is crazy. It says typically when people look up to the right, they are lying or tapping into an imagination. And then when they look up to the left, they are remembering or recalling something, tapping into a memory part of the brain. I mean, the next step in all of this would take a lie detector test. All right. Listen, we still gonna listen to what he has to say, but he keeps looking. And it's like I think if you look or whatever a few times, it makes sense, but like it's like he's constantly looking to the right. Y'all, I don't trust people with shifty eyes. I'm sorry. And to the Black women that are out here, I don't advise that you trust people with shifty eyes. Okay, shifty eyes, suspicious. Somebody said, he lying, I don't care. I'm just saying, I'm just the messenger. I had to look that up. I said, dang. Let's continue though. I'm an observer. Y'all, and you have to get into that mindset. Observe body, people watch, body watch. This is about your protection. Because you got to have your own back. You cannot rely on these men that you're meeting, some of these girls that you be hanging out with and stuff like that. You got to have your own back. So shifty eyes, that's a red flag for me.
Allowed her to have that behavior because, I'm fucking Korean, and as a Korean just growing up, all I've heard was when you have a baby with somebody or you get married with somebody, you have to do everything. 가서 갑자기 부산에서 회사 오러 하거나 아니면은 딸기나 포도가 먹고 싶다 하면은 가서 사와야 되는 약간 그런 식으로 자랐거든요. Like from the very start of a relationship, I usually just did everything. Like, you know how it goes. That's partly why the relationship got toxic, is because I allowed her behavior or fight for my own rights or fight for what's healthy. I just decided to go along with the flow. I am diagnosed with PTSD for reasons I do not want to reveal here. I also do have codependency. I usually just go along with the flow and say yes to everything. So I was just like, okay with her slapping me, okay with her fucking punching me, okay with her like lying to other people. I wish if I can go back in time and change that, I would try to be a more stronger person, but I really can't change time. I love her right now, and she loves me as much as I want to go get back together and go to America and take care of the babies and make everything right. I can't because my body won't let me. What I went through with her, I think it'll just repeat again. People do not change that easily. If I go back, I don't think I can make it out this time. I was okay with the abuse until we got into a little fight. I was having a phone call with my mom and dad. Let me not get deep into details. I'll make other videos about it. She basically pressured me to, and when I say pressured, it means I can say no for the first couple of times, but it gets very violent. She wanted me to send a message to my mom saying I'm cutting ties with all of you guys because of the little fight we had in America. I didn't even want to fight about it. She wanted me to start the fight without saying it's her idea. She wanted me to leave her out in the whole thing, but she didn't want to address it. Kind of think it's funny. So I cut ties with my mom for 7 months plus, and she wanted me to reach out to her because the views were going down, the money was going down. She thought if my family came back to America for a visit again, our views will go up. So she wanted me to reach out and say I want to make things right again. I was mind blown about how she can treat my family like it's a tool. Anyways, I reached out to my mom, and that was the phone call. I was having a phone call with my mom talking about stuff, and she said she'll leave the room. She left the room, but then after our hour-long phone call, she was hiding under the bed, like on the floor, basically next to the bed, on her belly, and I did not know she was there. She got up and said, "Why did you not take my side about a certain matter?" That's not how Korean families work. I'm not saying you have to be fake and say, "Hey, I'm on your side," when you're next in front of mom, and I'm on your side next to your wife. But I was neutral about it. She just didn't like how I wasn't completely taking her side. And I was in the bathroom. She suddenly came in the bathroom with a kitchen knife. And these type of situations occur a lot. She said, "Do you want to slice yourself with a knife, or do you want to burn yourself with a hair straightener over there?" Yes, it's that one with the orange plate you guys see in the videos. I said I'll slice myself because knife scars probably go away. I thought I never sliced myself, but I just couldn't do it. I had it on my skin and I was pressing a little bit, but it wasn't hard enough to actually slice me. She said, "Get up," and she heated the hair straightener to 450, and she gave it to me and said, "I have to burn myself, or if I don't choose any of these two, then I'm going to get into something much worse." I don't hit women, you know what I mean? Like I don't hit women when I'm sober, and not that I'd like to when I'm drunk or anything, but I don't want to fight a woman, and even if I do fight, there's no guarantee that I'm going to win. So I tried to burn myself. All 3 attempts kind of failed because as soon as it got on my skin, my hand just sprung out. She said she'll do it, fuck it, and she'll do it. So she pressed it onto my skin for about 5 seconds.
And you left your kids with this woman? You thought it was a good idea to leave your kids with this woman? Am I crazy? Come on, that don't make no sense. Oh my goodness, this is too much. Oh my goodness, this is too much. And then you know what? I'm gonna just keep my comments to myself. This is crazy.
About 3 times. That's why I have 3 second-degree burns. That's when I decided I have to leave. That my life is in danger. For a whole week, I practiced putting all my stuff in a bag, including my passport, my music equipments, and I would put them back in its place because she's very smart and she would suspect something. And I got it down to a point where I can stuff everything in a bag in 3 minutes. During that week, she wanted to pick my scabs. I said, "No, I don't want you to pick my scabs," but she apparently enjoyed it. Funny thing about second-degree scars, it re-scabs. After you take off the scab, it scabs again. Basically, at this point, I'm mentally, I feel like I'm going insane. And one night, she was snoring. She usually doesn't snore. She has insomnia, so she sleeps 4 hours. And she doesn't let me sleep while she's not sleeping. So that's why I usually get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I just packed everything in the fucking bag, and I left at 4 a.m. I called my mom and said,
Or maybe the reason why you get 2 to 3 hours of sleep is because you have 2 kids and they're under the age of 5. This is crazy. You see why I say you got to vet all men the same? You can't give none of these men no passes. Not under my watch. He complaining about being a parent? This is crazy to me.
This and that happened. I wasn't able to tell anybody because if I any video calls and my phone is completely monitored, even my GPS is on, so she can tell where I'm at, but I can't tell where hers is. I wasn't able to tell anybody or reach out for help to any friends. I left. She changed the password to all my Google accounts. She also changed the password to my Instagram.
Sir, maybe she had a tracking device on your phone because you self-harm yourself. She was worried that you were going to do something to yourself. She cares about you. So maybe that's why she had your location on and not hers. I mean, she not going nowhere, but she don't know about you. I mean, you make suicidal remarks and comments and things like that. I mean, any loving wife that's going through something so traumatic as this would turn on your location. Come on.
Everything is paid with her, under her name. Me cheating on her, there's no room for excuse. I did. I was kissing another girl in the club. In the legal eyes, we're still married. So it is cheating. As for future plans, I don't fucking know. She didn't let me make music because I really didn't have any free time. For like the total of 3 years I've been staying in America, I had like 4 days maybe to work on music, hence why I have 4 songs out. As soon as I came back to Korea, I've been fooling around and making like beats and rapping and featuring, giving out a verse here and there and stuff. That's just the only thing that makes me happy. As far as the babies, I think I have to file an international divorce on my end, figure out if I can bring the babies here. I don't have a visual proof of her hitting me. It doesn't really make sense to me how I can just turn on the fucking camera or something while she's beating the fuck out of me. I'm gonna end this video with a recorded phone call I've had with that person. That's all I got as proof. I'm sorry. I have a really big problem of trust with you. I don't think it's that hard for me to go over to America and try for us to try again, but
Okay, to give a little more context, so he has her on the phone and he's conversating with her and he is coercing her into, I guess, this audio recording. Like he's kind of baiting her so he could get this for his YouTube video. So she doesn't know that she's being recorded.
I think
Okay, I know exactly where you're going with this. I don't want to cut you off, but one solution that I thought of is putting cameras like in the house.
you can easily just get rid of any footage of you hitting me or anything. Like I cannot trust that. I
But
can't.
if I give you like the full, like, you know what I mean, like complete access to it, and
How do I know if
how
do I know if you're gonna give me all of that full access to everything? Let's say, and then you just you just take it all back because you want to with force. Like
I will not. I understand. You know what I mean? Like my faults and like where I went wrong. And
that's the thing. I know that you see the situation, and yes, our relationship and what we had is something definitely worth trying for.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, if something goes wrong, if I decide to not keep up with my end of the part, all you have is you don't have scars left on your body. You just have me leaving or some shit. Like a divorce.
I'm saying like that's not gonna happen.
That's the
like,
part where I think you don't understand is that for me, I went through some shit that left scars on my body. I get aggressive and irrational. You get violent.
For me, the preventative measures that I can take is 1, putting cameras in the house. I'm giving you all the access to that. And then 2, I'm actually going to be getting a job.
That's all cool and that's all good, like ways to try, but it's not direct solutions. It's a fucking cycle.
It has to be the last time.
It has to be, but like it's always said at urgent times, this has to be the last time and it will be the last time and this is our last chance and then it fucking happens again.
We've never tried it like this before though. You know how you say that you try to hurt me in ways that, like, you know what I mean? I will never be able to hurt you.
Yes.
It's the same thing. I can't hurt you emotionally like you hurt me.
So it gets physical.
Yeah, and that became my outlet. I'm not saying that it's right and I'm apologizing. I'm so sorry. If there's one thing that I've realized throughout this time apart is that I fucking love you with every single fucking fiber of my being.
Can I tell you 2 things too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 1 is that for me, it's been hell too, ever since I left.
Yeah.
Every single night. Like I can't sleep well and I can't like eat well and my tendency to run away from everything just keeps getting worse and worse. I remember, you know, what we used to have. It was like I was in heaven, right? And I'm sure for you too. But
yeah,
I went to the 정신과, like a psychology thingy, because it got really, really bad. I couldn't do normal life. told her everything, and she was like, if it got to the point that it got worse and worse, and she eventually like hakde you, like abused you, no matter how hard they claimed they would work on it, the chances of them actually changing, but she would personally strongly advise not going back to a partner that was abusive. That's the logical side, right? And me, I'm thinking I want to go back because I want to make everything fucking work, and we have kids, and I've been giving you a chance. I've been giving you a chance every day for 3 years.
영준아, 한 번도 만지면 내가 진짜 보여줄게. 다시, I will not, I never will, because I'm telling you, 영준, 나 죽고 싶어, 진짜. I've literally been suicidal this entire time, and I'm telling you, please just give me one more chance, and I will make sure that it never happens again. I'm telling you.
I can't trust people anymore.
Please, one more chance.
I can't trust anybody anymore.
One more chance, please. I'm telling you.
Fuck me up.
영준, please, one more chance is all I'm asking for. I understand that, and I'm so sorry, and I apologize, and I'm just asking for one more chance. I'm telling you.
I've been suicidal for the past 3 years.
Never. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I know you're sorry, but I can't. I love you, but we're gonna solve.
No, I love that. 영준아, 나 진짜 너 없으면 나도 못 살아. 진짜 너 못 살아. 나 진짜.
I want to give you a chance, but I can't get out the feeling that if I do, I'm gonna be a slave again, and I'm gonna be beat like a dog again. I won't be treated like.
I promise. With everything in me, I promise.
Can you send me Savan and Saphir? I'll take care of them.
No, please just give me. You have to at least see me, please.
It's happened before, then it'll happen again.
Louder than words.
Action does speak louder than words. Normal people wouldn't treat somebody like a fucking slave and not let them sleep and fucking physically harass them. Nobody. That's not regular toxic. If this was regular toxic, I would give it a chance 1,000,000 times.
Those first couple days were like heaven on fucking earth, and I knew from that day forward you were my person. And I fucked that up majorly. I know I fucked it up. You remember when we had to sneak around and put you in my dorm room, and we were laying in the bed that one day, and we said it was too good to be true, and you were like a dream. And we said it was like a dream, babe. We could still be a dream. You remember our late nights at the desert apartment, and you fucking loved me so much. You wanted to spend more time with me. You used your whole allowance to come out there, and you tried to get a job because you wanted to be with me. I showed my therapist our YouTube channel, and you know what he said? He said, regardless of if some of this was faked, he said one thing that you can never fake is the look that you guys gave each other, the looks that you guys give each other. And he said, I understand that while you guys might have, it's understandable to take a wrong path in this type of situation. It's very high stress, and I understand the both of you. He said you cannot fake that kind of love. And he said even like 800,000 people can feel your love, and you cannot fake that. I don't care if the fucking pranks were faked and like all that stuff. We never have to do a fucking prank again in our lives. I fell in love with Youngin, the musician, Youngin, the weird guy, the goofy guy. And I didn't give a fuck what other people thought of you, what people thought of your fucking hair. I fell in love with Youngin.
But your actions showed different. Your actions showed me that all you care about is money, and all you care about is our YouTube stat. All you care about is my hair looking okay in the Black community. All you cared about is...
It's okay. I don't give a fuck. We can get off social media.
I had to fake my personality. I had to fake shit like you give me all the freedom in the world. I had to fake cry for shit.
You guys, I have to stop the live. I'm sorry. Shannon, girl, I'm trying to get your super chat. You out there vacationing with the family. Tell the family I said hello. How are they doing? This is definitely heartbreaking. This is a lot, you guys. And you know, I think there may be some truth to the situation that maybe she allowed her YouTube channel to get to her and go to her head, and maybe she did make it all about views and everything. It happens, but I'm gonna watch Ash and Chris after this because I just have to. I'm sorry. To wrap up this video, if you want to stay on, this video probably about to be 3 hours long. But girl, I'm nosy. I gotta check it out. So I'm about to do that next. I am about to do that next. This is just a lot. Yeah, this definitely sounds like a twin flame relationship to those that think twin flame relationships are, you know. Shannon also said, this is so disgusting that it takes this and edits this to benefit himself. Yeah. Wow. Incredibly messed up to take this intimate conversation and blast it on the net is crazy. Korean Amber Heard. For real. For real. Yes. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Yeah. Because let's get through this one because I'm about to move on to Ash and Chris.
I don't give a fuck about. I have your fucking face on my right arm because you thought it would be great for views. I have your fucking face on my arm because you wanted more money.
We can completely get rid of that aspect. We won't ever have to think about YouTube again. I'm gonna get a high-paying job.
That's not the point. I told you you were controlling, and you were you were good with that.
Okay, so he goes into saying that she changed the password to his Instagram, and she also said that he can't get back into the Instagram unless he comes back to America, which I feel like that's fair. I mean, you can't just abandon your family and just leave all responsibility on one woman. And, you know, I could see why she would do that. But then also he went on to say how he tried to make a second Instagram account and how Instagram banned him because they felt like he was trying to impersonate Gohan, which is himself. Okay, now we're going to switch gears because this is crazy. Okay, let's move on to Ash and Chris, I believe. Hold on. Somebody said 3 jobs. Yeah, 3 jobs. Okay, so that's what's called what Gohan did. This is getting real messy. Okay, let's see what Ash and Chris had to say.
Hey guys, it's Ash and Chris. We know we haven't been on the channel in a while, and this isn't necessarily.
This isn't the way we wanted to come back.
This isn't the way we wanted to come back. We're actually in Jamaica right now, at a hotel, trying to have a good time. So it is annoying that we.
I'm sorry for my face. I'm over it.
Yeah. It's annoying that we had to do this because I'm not gonna lie, we were trying not to be involved publicly, even with what we know. But given that Gohan's brother wants to try and defame me in his comments, which if you're watching this, I'm the last motherfucking person you want to come for. So I'm just gonna recap some stuff. As you guys know, Christian and I met through a live that Jin and Juice did back in, I think it was August of 2020.
Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. They were mutual friends. Okay? That needs to be known. They are mutual friends. Okay, let's continue.
I came to the States in October. My now husband, proposed to me on Christmas Day, and I've been here ever since. I never physically met Gohan and Saros until January of 2021. They were actually even supposed to be in our wedding. So we were all friends and stuff like that. The first night, I remember the first night Christian took me over their house. Oh my God, we're there for hours till like 2 a.m. in the morning. We're in the living room, we're talking, getting to know each other. At one point in time, Christian, because Saros beforehand had asked Christian if she could give Gohan a couple driving lessons because he wanted to learn how to drive, which he claimed she didn't do, which is complete and total bullshit. So Christian took our car. He drew this little map on the paper and like kind of showed him, you know, you can turn right if the way is clear. And he was like kind of trying to teach him. And then me and Cyrus were inside the house, just like talking and chilling and like getting to know each other. So when they came back, we were all talking. And then I don't remember how it got to that point, but there was a point where we started like opening up. Now listen, I am not an internet personality. I'm not going to watch my mouth. I am a Jamaican woman. I don't care what anybody has to say, but nobody in their goddamn right is going to talk shit on my name when all we did for you was be your friend. And I am pissed the fuck off. This is what happened. That night,
They say, don't you piss off a Jamaican woman.
Opened up and started crying about how his father would abuse him throughout his whole life. The times when he was around, because he told us that he'd leave a lot and whatnot. I'm going to be transparent. I myself was said I was assaulted. I was raped. I was raped at 16. And I shared my story. Christian's father left him when he was 2 years old. He shared his story and we all bonded that night, okay? I remember Gohan specifically said he feels like after that, after all the crying and we're wiping our eyes, that we were bonded for life. After that, you guys have seen us in a couple of their videos. If you remember, we were all friends, right? So no.
You see why you don't bond over your trauma? Do you see why you don't bond over trauma? Do you see? Okay.
We're going to jump to, what month was it? I think early June of 2021, right?
Early June, maybe
late May, early June, right? And if you guys, I'm sure I can charge up my old phone. And we're in the hotel right now, I don't have a computer, I don't have anything, so I can't necessarily put stuff. But I do have messages between me and Cyrus on this day to show that this happened, right? So there was one morning, either the end of May or the beginning of June, where Cyrus called me like 6:15 in the morning. And I remember when I saw her calling, I was just like, what could be wrong with she's calling me this early?
I was asleep at the time.
He was asleep. So I said, hey, what's up, love? She's like, are you home? And I was just like, yeah, what's going on? Because her voice sounded cracked. So she said to me, I'm at your door. So then I went out to the door. I opened the door. She came in crying. And I'm like, what's going on? At this point, his parents were upstairs and his brother was up there. Oh, and by the way, his brother didn't come for no family bonding. His brother was never supposed to come. He came last minute because he was in some trouble over a gambling debt that he owed. And they were telling us how frustrated they were with him, Gohan as well, that they had to pay off his debt for him. So before you fucking say anything about me, you little boy that I have never met, keep your mouth shut. I am not the fucking one that you should play with. I am dead serious. Do not fix your lips to call my name. Moving on. So that morning she came, she's crying. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? She says to me, I'm getting a divorce. I'm getting a divorce. I'm like, Cyrus, calm down. Tell me what's going on. She
said, she telling it all. She telling it all. You see, this is why I like us. I do. Because once you make us take off our gloves, the gloves are coming off. We're not putting the gloves back on. The gloves done came off. They not being put back on. Woo, she ain't playing.
Told me about some pool party that she and Gohan went to, and she said that Gohan was flirting with girls right in front of her, right? And then she said when they came home that night or morning or one of those times, they got into a fight in which he said he wanted to fuck other women. So that's when she left, came downstairs to my apartment, and then told me that she's packing up her stuff and she's going to her mom's. So I said to her, okay, let me drive you. I don't want you to be in that emotional state driving to you, because she was crying really hard. While she was standing in my kitchen.
Mind you, before this point, I've never seen Soros cry.
Yeah, no.
Like, she's so strong, and it's just. There's a reason why I'm keeping my mouth shut. Is because she's a lot better.
He brought her to her breaking point. He broke her.
I'm gonna let her talk.
Right. So then I said to her, let me drive you. I literally have the text. What I will do, guys, is I will screenshot them, post it to my Instagram story, and then I will put in the comments when you can go look at the post, since I can't put it in a video. But there are messages between me and her saying, hey, do you need me to carry you to your mom's now? It's okay, love. You'll be okay. We'll get through this. I literally have all those messages, right? So then she said she went back upstairs, and then she said that Gohan hid her keys so she couldn't leave, and that he was up there crying. And when she was in my kitchen, he FaceTimed her and he was asking her, where are you? Where'd you go? She didn't tell him that she was down there with me at the time. And then she left. We texted her in full transparency. Both me and Christian texted her to reach out to her, and we didn't get back a response. Later that night, I saw that I think Gohan was live on Instagram, and they were at a restaurant eating or doing something. I'm not sure what that was about, right? So that was that day. We went to New York that summer. If some of you guys remember, we have some New York videos. We went to New York that summer. We came back. I think there was one point in September that Rose had texted you saying, "Are you guys home?"
Yeah.
Or something like that. And we were out dashing. So we said, "No, almost." That's the last text that we got from her. From September of 2021 on all the way back around to April of 2022, we have not spoken.
We didn't hear a word.
We didn't hear. I reached out several times. I didn't know what was going on. I'm not going to lie to you guys. At one point, Christian and I thought that, because we don't know if we just weren't good enough friends to make the cut, because we couldn't, when they blew up a little bit more, we couldn't think of any other reason why you just up and cut somebody off, right? So after a while,
That's real, y'all, and that's fair.
To figure out, what was going on, what was wrong. Nobody ever responded to me, so I let that shit go. I'm not even gonna lie. I scrubbed my hands and I said, you know what? I don't deserve this. I know I'm a good friend. I know I have a good heart, and we just decided to let it go, right? We wanted to make a video that we moved to Atlanta, but this is how it's gonna have to come out. We've been living in Atlanta for the past month. So about a week before we were supposed to move, or maybe 2 weeks before we were supposed to move.
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks before we were supposed to move. Christian went outside to walk our dog, Max. He comes back inside and he says to me, Rose is outside and she wants to talk to you. Mind you, I think he's joking. And I'm like, yeah, right, come sit down. He's like, no, I'm serious. She's outside. So then I'm just like, okay. And then I went out there and she saw me. She's like, hey, long time no see. And I said to her, well, you could say that. And then she started going off and telling me that Gohan had left. He stole $10,000. He stole their cars. We went up to her apartment and she was telling us, like, everything that went down.
Showed us the doors that he
She showed us the doors that he punched several holes through. She showed us a little note that he wrote with his bad English grammar. We saw everything. So naturally, one of my first questions was, why the hell have you not been speaking to us for a year?
They are witnesses. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Thank you, Winnie. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. She said she saw everything. They saw everything. That's what she said. Now, we weren't there. And they may have, listen, Saros, she may have came on here and faked some pranks, but they're vouching for her now. So, that's all I'm going to say. Ooh, I'm glad y'all recommended this.
She then tells me that Gohan told her that I came on to him. I want you guys to look at me and look in my eyes. Never, even if I was single and he was single, never, no, not my type, would never be my type. Don't do it. No. I want you guys to look in my eyes. No.
At any point in time, I never believed any of it. I know Ashley. She's
Complete
the most loyal
bullshit.
person I know. That's one of the
And I'm trying, you know what? Apart from just like, don't be too angry. But no, I'm fucking pissed. I've been pissed for months. She told me.
You know why he did it. Oh no, you know why he did it. This is crazy. You know why he did it. She's a strong woman. She don't play no mess. She ain't playing no games. He knew. He knew that he couldn't have this woman around this girl that he was manipulating and emotionally abusing. She don't play that. That's why he did it. That's he wanted to isolate her. Y'all be careful out here. Cause you could tell she don't play that. She don't play. And when she said what she said, she wasn't looking off to the right, the left, or up or down. She said what she said.
2 months ago, what he said. And I immediately told her I'm gonna press charges against him because false allegations is a federal offense. And because at the point in time she still had hope that he could get mental help and be a father to the kids, she asked me to just hold off on it. And I said, I will do it for Siobhan and Saphir. But Rose, and I said this to her, if Gohan ever calls his name out my mouth, calls my name out his mouth, it's over. It's a wrap. Because I got to protect myself and my name. Do you guys know all the shit we've done for this boy? He has way more money than me and Christian ever had. We were struggling to make ends meet. We helped him move shit upstairs. We helped him with his rap lyrics. Christian got his friend to get his Mustang to use in his video, or what was his name again? Shalom. To use his Mustang, and it fell through. We were downtown dashing, guys. We had like $15 in our bank account, and Rose called us because she was pregnant with Sophia at the time, and said that Gohan is stuck at the supermarket and he can't come home because he couldn't drive. We left. Drove 30 fucking minutes to go pick up his ungrateful ass and bring him back to the apartment. So much shit we did for him with the little means that we have. I don't think you understand. For him to turn around and tell this lie, right? So naturally, I was just like, I thought me and him were friends. First of all, the day that Gohan is referring to, that he told Rose about, was like way back in March. There was a day that Rose texted me and she asked me to come upstairs and help her write some lyrics because two of us were writing lyrics for if you guys remember, when they had the music competition going on, right? So I went up there. I think Christian wasn't feeling well. So I went up there. And me and her and him, meaning me, Rose, and Gohan, were in their music room, right? So I was like, I was running off some lyrics that I wrote. She was running off some lyrics that we wrote. And I remember that day we were making fun of Gohan because Gohan was just like, wow, that's actually good. It might be some competition. And we were all laughing about it, right? That's cool. So then,
not writing this man's lyrics.
What's her name? Her name is escaping me.
It's okay.
I don't remember. I'm so fucking pissed. Sierra. So Rose's best friend Sierra came over, right? So then Rose left the room and she went out into the kitchen and she was talking to Sierra. So me and Gohan were like, there were two chairs like this, and the computer is right here. And he's like, hey, do you want to hear some of my beats? And you can tell me which one you like the most. So I was like, yeah, play them. I remember thinking all the fucking shit sound the same. And then do you guys know when like you're in a group of friends, but then you have like a friend where if it's just you and them, there's not really much to talk about if the other people aren't present? That was what it was. So I was like, okay, this beat isn't bad because he had played me the beats that he used in his music videos prior. So I was telling him which one I liked, which one I thought would, could do some work and stuff like that. So then after a while, I said, okay, I'm going to go outside and say hi to Rose's friend because I never met her before. So I got up, I went outside, I met Sierra. She's a lovely girl. Me, she, and Rose started talking and laughing about some stuff. And then I picked up Siobhan and I was holding Siobhan. And then Gohan came out. And then all four of us were talking for quite some time. And then I said to them about after 15 minutes later, I said to them, I gotta go because Christian doesn't feel well, so I have to go back downstairs. Rose hugged me by, I hugged her friend Sierra by, and Gohan hugged me by. That is how that day went. And there have been several occasions in which I have been back up into their apartment. Gohan came down to my apartment. He came riding. you know what pisses me off? The last fucking time, excuse my language, excuse me, but y'all don't know how pissed I am. The last time I saw Gohan was when Christian's friend with a Mustang, we all four of us met up and we're talking about, you know, where the music video is going to be filmed, what's going to happen, putting plans in place. We said we're going to make a Snapchat group and all of that, right? Christian was in the front, his friend Shalom was in the driver's seat, me and Gohan were in the back. And we were talking about the fact that, oh, you know, we're talking about Sophia, we're talking about the fact that, oh, we haven't really hung out much in a while and we need to plan something. And God was like, yeah, I miss you guys. We need to meet up. We need to hang out, stuff like that. I've been around Sivan and Sophia like 12 times after that. I'm so fucking pissed. We talked on Christian's birthday because I wanted to take Christians into cars. And back then last year, I wanted to take him to this like car race show. And I asked Gohan if he wanted to come. And he said, yeah, that'd be dope. I'd be down, blah, blah. He literally always came down to our apartment talking about how Christian is his best friend. And oh, I would cook Jamaican food, bring it up to him. He's like, oh, this is the best fucking food. So many things like y'all don't understand. If I motherfucking touched you, why the fuck would you keep coming to my apartment? Why would you put yourself in a car with me? Why would you have Nero and Sival and Sophia? Why would you not tell Rose the day it happened? Why would you allow her to be friends with me for months if that's what really happened? Huh? I am not the one to mess. I hope to God you're watching this, Gohan. I am not going to stop until you are sued for defamation. Don't play with my motherfucking name.
Ooh, she not playing with this man. Ooh,
I just want to say, because I know they're going to see this video, you and your brother, I am so happy that you guys got out of those beautiful kids' lives because you don't deserve them. And the fact that your own father abused you and you still, after everything, after knowing better,
did that to somebody else. You make me sick. I am sick. I ever refer to you as my friend. I am sick. I ever invited you to. The only good thing you have ever done in your life is create those beautiful kids that you do not even acknowledge as your kids. So, because I didn't say why he lied about it. So when so I'm jumping back to June not June, sorry, late May to early June. We're not exactly sure which day it was of this year, right? So I said to Cyrose, I thought we were friends. What reason would Gohan have to just up and tell such an awful, vicious, illegal lie? And then I said to her, the last time I physically saw you and I spoke to you is when you came downstairs crying, telling me that you were going to divorce him. And I said to her, does he know? He's like, and then she went, oh girl, shit, yeah, I did tell him that you were going to help me leave. And I was like, there
makes
you go.
sense to
So
me.
instead of messaging me like a man and clarifying, I don't know if you thought I was convincing her to divorce him or what the situation is. Instead of being a fucking man and not a little. Let me calm down, guys.
You know what she was about to say.
Instead of saying something to me, what he does is decide that he wants to cut me and Christian out of Cyrose's life. And I said to Cyrose, why wouldn't you say something, even if not to me, because you hadn't only known me for like under a year at that point. Christian has been your best friend. Why wouldn't you reach out to us and address it? And she said every time she wanted to, Gohan would stop her. And I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. In some ways, even I still don't understand why she didn't say something. But in a sense, I think she knew that if she had to kind of like...
Sometimes as women, we do stupid things for love. I've done it. That's why she did it. She was in love. It happens. And then she was being abused. That's a double whammy. And she was being manipulated. And and this is another thing to the women that are out here. The reason why you don't trauma bond, you heal, right? Is because a lot of these men, if you trauma bond with them, right, they'll use your trauma, they'll weaponize your trauma against you. So if her dad was never around, then she didn't want this man to leave her. So he used that. He weaponized that against her. That's why I'm never going to recommend that if you ever get into a situation with a man that you trauma bond, because they will weaponize your trauma against you. They will emotionally manipulate you, isolate you from your family, your friends. That is what they do. And then they take such a traumatic experience that you had in your childhood and use it against you. And just dangle it over your head every 5 seconds. That's what an emotional abuser does. This is why we got to heal ourselves. This is why we got to work on ourselves. This is why. Because a man should never be able to come into your life and do you like that. Healing offers protection. It does. Because then a man cannot weaponize your trauma against you like this.
Address it, she would have had to open her eyes to the type of person Gordon is, and she wanted nothing more than for him to be a father to his kids. So she did the easier thing. Stop talking to us. And she said that day when she saw Christian walking.
Wait a minute now. Now, how did he use her trauma against her in this situation? The reason why he manipulated her into not talking to her or befriending her was because she didn't want her own kids to be abandoned and to grow up without a father. This is why you don't trauma bond. So he knew how he could manipulate her. He knew that she was desperate to have this family because she grew up in a home without a father. So he would weaponize the children against her. So the voice recording that he made in his video, even if he did edit it, he was manipulating her still, even then. So no, like, if people want to understand the point of their story, they're witnesses and they're backing up Saros. So you can either take it or leave it.
Matt, it clicked to her that he was lying. And that's when she reached out to us. And that's when she told me about it. God knows what we know. God knows what he has come down to our apartment, bawling his eyes out. He knows what he told us. He knows what he did. And let me tell you right now, I am going to sing like a canary if I need to testify in court. And I am going to sue you. I am making it my mission to sue you. Don't play with people's lives like that. Do you know how you could have ruined my life with your vicious lies? You don't care about how your actions impact people. You don't care about Siobhan. You don't care about Saphir. The only person you care about is yourself. You literally disgust the life out of me. You should be ashamed of who you are. You make us sick. And you know everything we did for you. What kind of cruel and wicked person could you be? You know, I told you what I went through. I cried. I told you what that man did to me, how he assaulted me. And you took the one thing you knew would hurt me. Because what? I pissed you off? After everything we did for you? I don't care who wants to believe me. I don't. The only person that I care about believing me is sitting right here because I know the truth and you know the truth. So I really hope when they go to court and they cross-examine you, I really hope you can keep up your lie. Because if you didn't know, any crime you committed on US soil you're still going to be held responsible for it. And I hope that lie was worth it, because I'm not letting it go, Gohan. I'm not. What you did was disgusting. It was filthy. And most of all, it was dishonest. You know I never did anything to you. I would never. How stupid would I have to be to do that with Rose right outside? How stupid. And if I really did that, why would you conveniently tell her after she told you I was going to help her leave? Or drive her to her mom's or whatever? Why would you have me around your kids? Why would you keep coming to my apartment and hanging out? Why? Months after you claim I did that, why would you do that? But here's what you don't know. I can prove you're lying. So I really hope you doing this was worth it. I hope it was worth losing 2 friends who did nothing but care for you and have your back, drive you around when we had $10 to our name. I really hope it was worth it, because we would have rocked with you until the end. I am not here to speak on anything between Gohan and Shiroz. Anything I have said in any comments is only something I know for a fact. I saw it or I heard it. I don't talk on my ass.
You heard the lady.
I don't believe in doing that. I believe only saying something when you know it for a fact. You are delusional. What you did was delusional. And you know what? How dare you do that to Savannah? I went over to Rose's mom's house so many times before we made a move to Atlanta. Your kids are hurting. Sivan isn't speaking because you left. He's in speech therapy because of you. But do you care? No. You think I wasn't there when you told her that the kids ruined your life? You think I wasn't there when Sivan thought Rose's friend Sam was his father and called him daddy, and she told you and you didn't care? I don't care how I look or what I say. I don't have people following me. I'm not a big personality. I am just an average person who is a victim of your lies and your bullshit. My whole life, I let people walk over me, guys. I was bullied to the point of attempting suicide twice.
Y'all, I knew it. I knew the reason why she was going so hard was because of some of her trauma. If you ever been a sexual assault victim and you heal from that and you grow from that and you move on from that, you speak up for yourself now. You don't allow people to walk all over you. So yeah, she really gonna sue him. And yeah, she's really going to hold him accountable. Because you know how it is. So she's going to speak up. Because I know what it's like to feel silenced or feeling like you can't talk about something. So when you grow and you heal from that, you speaking your truth. That's exactly what you're going to do. Because people done tried it way too many times. That's where I'm at in life. So yeah, she ain't playing with this man. I can tell you that now.
I have never once stood up for myself because I was afraid of what people would retaliate and do. I'm not doing it this time. You don't get to bully me, Gohan. You don't get to lie on me. You don't get to get away with it. And I'm not just fighting for me. I'm fighting for those 2 beautiful little boys that you left behind like they were nothing. How is it that your own kids are more a priority to me than they are to you. I'm going, like, I don't think you guys understand. I'm pissed. And had I known this was the type of person he was, I never would have been friends with him. But that's the beauty of hindsight. You have to go through things to learn it. But you know what, Gohan? You could have lied about anything. Anything else. Anything else. But that, knowing damn well what I went through, how my virginity was taken from me, how a knife was held to my neck, how I have bruises on my back to this day, you know that, and you really, really went and told that type of lie?
Well, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I am speechless, y'all. That's crazy. What have y'all got me into? What have y'all gotten me into? What is this? This is way too much. I got a headache. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. If you could give the video a thumbs up, please give the video a thumbs up, you guys. If you don't learn nothing else from this live, vet all men. Heal your trauma so you can vet men properly. You cannot vet men properly if you haven't healed. So if you haven't healed, you don't need to date. You need to start your healing journey today. Today. How do you start a healing journey? You start to reflect over your life, things that you have gone through. If you need help working through that, you may need therapy. You may need counseling. You may need some assistance, and it's okay. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to get the help that you need so that you can improve your life, so you can avoid this type of stuff, because you deserve better than this. You deserve better than this, but you got to come to that realization within yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the little girl, the little boy, even if there are men watching, you owe it to that person. You got to become the person that you needed when you were younger. And the only way you can do that is by taking on a healing journey. If you want to master the art of life, you have to master healing yourself. Because there's always going to be something. It's life. There's always going to be something. But if you can master healing, you can really master this journey that we're on. Okay? So on that note, I'm going to end this live. This video is going to stay up, I hope. But it really depends on these comments. If the comments get nasty, this video is going to go to Patreon. It will not be made available to the public. I truly made this video and reacted to this story to help and to teach others in a positive way. If you are in an abusive relationship or an emotionally abusive relationship, start planning to get out of that. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody, but start planning that. Start saving money. Start putting things aside to leave. And don't tell anyone. Get assistance, get help, reach out to people or programs that are out there to help you leave if that's something that you need. But don't tell anyone. On that, I'm going to end this live, and you guys try to enjoy the rest of your night. I know this was pretty heavy. And send some love. Send some love to Soros because she needs it right now. For real. Go send her some love. Go send her some love. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.